telling about erotic photo shoots with hot and sexy models, right? And this specific photo shoot happened few days ago, and I had a client, a male client, a guy, who had a birthday celebration here at my studio. And what he booked for his birthday, he booked a tantric model to have an adventure, an erotic adventure on camera and on film. And that's exactly what happened in my studio. Okay. I made this video to tell a few things. First thing is that this guy arrived disabled. Okay, so the first thing, what is interesting and important to know is that when you're booking a photo shoot, you would need to provide your health situation, okay? Because not every model would like to perform and create erotic scenarios with disabled people. That's another thing, right? So that's the thing that my clients, men clients, cannot keep in secret is their health condition, right? Because I booked an erotic photo shoot for a guy, for a healthy guy, and I booked a model, and this guy forgot to tell me that he had a spine injury, and he has cerebral paralysis, that kind of a condition, right? So he cannot really stand very much, right? He just was able to sit down and lay down. Okay, so that kind of an erotic photo shoot in general affects photographer, affects the studio, I have to say, situation, right? Because studio is not equipped to accept disabled people. You see, the studio has no access. In this case, this man was able to go to the first floor upstairs, okay, because he could walk. But he is not that client who would walk around the studio, or it will be easy for him, right? So when people are booking erotic photo shoot, I would really like them to be honest with me, okay, honest and provide the relevant information, okay? Because what happened is that when I booked the model, hot and sexy model has a right also to choose, you see, who she is working with. And it was a surprise for me when the guy came out of the car, and I could see that he is hardly walking, okay? And he has a certain condition that affects his movements and affects his performance and affects everything. It affects the shoot, how I create the shoot, okay? Because you see, this video I'm making, sometimes guys are keeping a secret, and very often, okay, the secrets of who they are, the secrets what they would like, okay, to book, to shoot, okay, and erotic fantasy secrets, right? Because erotic is a taboo, okay. But then it comes to a situation when they keep a secret and they arrive disabled, right? And it is not straightforward to create an erotic photo shoot when you are working with disabled person, okay. That's one thing. And the second thing is, you see, the model could reject and say, I'm not going to shoot because I wasn't informed, okay, about the health condition and situation with who I work, right? So the guy was keeping this information in secret because probably he would not be accepted, or he would be treated maybe in a different way, or he maybe will be charged extra, okay, because that's how things go if it's something very special, right? So a surprise like that I received a few days ago, but I'm making this video because I had this person trying to book a photo shoot in the past 3 years, maybe. Okay, trying to book a model to his home, trying to book a photo shoot, and what happened is that this time the person booked the photo shoot and bring the deposit, okay, in cash. Okay, and I wasn't in the studio, right? So he left the deposit in the studio. There is a letterbox. Okay, and I have not seen the client. Okay, and when he booked a photo shoot, he booked a model. Okay, he booked a tantric model, very hot and sexy blonde professional tantric masseuse, and he booked it for a birthday party, right? So it all sounds nice, okay? It all sounds nice, right? And then we discussed this. And then in the morning, when the model already getting ready and so on, I received a message saying that, oh, I can't do this, I'm not feeling well. Okay. And it happens very often. Okay, when the guy's booking a photo shoot and then cancel, or get scared the last minute, it happens very often. And I usually ask, were you nervous when you was coming to the studio? How you felt? Where you were, how you feeling? And most of the time, people are nervous when they come to do an erotic photo shoot. Okay. So with this particular guy, you see people are booking a model, right? People are paying a deposit and then canceling few hours before the shoot. Okay, what happens when you book a model? Okay, usually models are coming ready. Okay, depending on the models, right? But most of the time, models will go and do professional hairstyle. Models will do professional makeup, right? They will book a makeup artist, they will book a hairstylist, and they will pay for this service. Okay, so when it's the last minute cancellation and these arrangements have been made and model is ready, okay, model already spent money, right? He went somewhere, did something, then it will be traveling to the studio. So a half of a day, it's already will be spent for a photo shoot, right? That's an investment already from the model side. That is why I am collecting a deposit, okay, before I book a model. In case this happens, model will get a refund. Okay, it's not that, how to say, it's possible another way, but I'm just explaining now a literal situation when the model is sitting in a beauty studio getting ready for a photo shoot and a client canceling the last minute because he's scared. Okay, he's scared. uh, Men scared for many reasons. Maybe the most scariest reason is that they are not able to perform like men. Okay, that they are not able to impress, that they are not able to, show off, that they're not good enough. That's, too small, right? The men worry about that. Okay. And that is the reason why. Of course, erotic photo shoot for most is a very new and unusual experience. And to be nervous, I mean nervous in a healthy way, of course it's okay. Because when you're nervous, you're excited, you feel the thrill. Yeah, it's okay. When you're doing an erotic photo shoot, it is okay to be a little bit nervous. It is not okay when you are freaking out and you're canceling the shoot, knowing that the hot, sexy model putting a red bow for you, right? And presenting, like a president herself, canceling that lady, right? It's not okay, right? But why I'm making this and recording this video, because it happens, okay? And very often men lie to me, okay? They lie to me to how to say, to just avoid certain situations, right? So I'm booking this client and he arrives to the studio and I'm going downstairs to greet that person. And the nice fancy car arrives and the guy hardly getting out of the car, all shaky and so on, right? He had in the past, he had a spine nerve injury, right? So the consequences, right? He was hardly walking, okay, and he wasn't able to do many things, okay. So model was feeling in this way that it's just like, how to say, usually you connect the client with the model, right? But when people have cerebral injuries and conditions, they behave differently in the studio. Not every model knows how to work with such clients, okay? And not every studio probably would accept that. That's why this guy specifically lied. But how to say, it's just not telling the truth. Very often when it comes to erotic photo shoot and erotic scenarios, they downgrade the scenarios and the fantasies, right? or they do not say something. Okay, it's okay to say that you can come quickly, and then you need twice, to repeat it twice. It is okay to say these things, right? When you're shooting an adult scenarios and adult fantasies, every person is different, right? Some people getting overexcited, okay? Some people not, okay? For some people it's really hard. And I can tell you, if you have a certain condition, sometimes it's really hard, to climax. Okay, and the model also need to know about your condition. Excuse me. How is it people can come to the studio and do not realize that this is a complicated gig to shoot a disabled person? And not every model would like to do that and be in that complicated situation, right? Because when you have a healthy person, you can just play around with him, run around, dance, and many things, right? When you have a condition, cerebral condition, that person hardly walks, he needs to sit down, and he just doesn't really, how to say, connect physically in the way that the healthy man would. Okay, so that's the thing, right? I am not saying that they're not supposed to have an erotic photo shoot. I am saying they have to be honest, okay, about themselves. Erotic photo shoot is about the honesty, right? How honest you can be in your body, in your emotion, in your feeling, okay, in the things what you're doing, in your fantasy, right? How honest you can be with a photographer, because there are many things and ideas going in the head, and very often men, they feel awkward, shy, and embarrassed to say, right, what they want. And then, going around it and stuff. Okay, so this is something what I wanted to bring out, okay, about shooting men and creating nude photography, erotic photography, explicit photography for men, and including erotic fantasies with hot and sexy models. Okay, that's the thing. So honesty is very important, right? To take that mask off and stop pretending, okay, or playing out cool, right? Or not saying things how they are, okay? And like I say, normal people, they during erotic photo shoot, they connect with the models, right? Or they can perform, they can do many things. When you are disabled, it's different. It's different for you, it's different for photographer, in terms of the service and lighting, and in general shooting plan. And it is way different for a model to provide an erotic service, okay, for disabled person. So that's the thing. I would like to call everyone to be honest and tell the truth, okay? Not to be scared, right? It's nothing, how does it to be embarrassed about. It's life. Okay, let me just quickly say hi. Today I'm talking about erotic photo shoots for men. And this is specific situation when there is a disabled people are interested in erotic photo shoot, and they contacted me many times. Okay, I am saying no to disabled for one single reason, because my studio do not have an access for the wheelchairs. Okay, it doesn't. So it has to be out call or something, not in the studio. But there are some conditions, like for example, people take some rehabilitation, and they just manage to go to up into the to the first floor, and but they still are disabled, and they're not able to do many things how the healthy men are shooting. Okay, and this is something what people should, if they have the condition, they should say. Okay, they should say, right? Then okay, so keeping it secret is not something that I would suggest. Okay, let me just quickly say hi, hello, and I'm talking about erotic photo shoots, and today I am discussing a topic: men photography and erotic photo shoot with the hot and sexy model. And this guy booked erotic photo shoot for his birthday, and that was specifically his birthday on that day of the shoot, because I'm checking the ID when guys are booking models. I'm checking the ID, and I want to just make sure that there is a certain age, and just need to check the verified identity, right? So the birthday party is what you can give, what you can give. Erotic photo shoot, erotic adventure. That's something what this guy chose, okay, for himself. And erotic adventure was erotic fantasy tantric session with a tantric model. Different models available. Okay, as you know, adult business has a variety of models. Most maybe popular is an escort. Okay, like a standard escort service, right? During the photo shoot. Okay, for you to remember what was like, when moments converted into the memories, okay, and recorded, right? That's what we do here. Of course, there are models, like I say, tantric model. There are fetish models. There are BDSM dominatrix ladies. Okay, there are different kind of fantasies, and when people are requiring something, they're requiring by their needs. Okay, and then I'm able to hire these people and provide that service. Okay, with this model, right? So that's how it works in the studio when you're hiring model. And of course, shooting for a guy with a model, it's probably the easiest task because when you're shooting with the model, you do not need to perform very much. You do not need to worry what to do because the model is here to move you around, okay? To do something with you, right? So you will be automatically busy just touching the model, undressing the model, right? Playing with the model. It's just like, a beginning, a romantic foreplay, and then depending on what exactly was booked, right? That's what we will do. Models most of the time bring sexy outfits. Yeah, that specific shoot we had is red and black. Red and black was requested, right? Depending on what people like, right? There are a lot of outfits here in the studio that model can change or model can bring something. Okay, people have different fantasies, seriously. Sometimes they want the model be an angel. And we're looking for angel wings. That's an option. Okay, different situations, right? But like I say, the best fun, of course, booking a model, right? Double fun is booking two models. Okay, triple fun be booking three models. Okay, depending. Okay, so that's the thing, right? Christmas is coming. People will be making nice gifts and they don't know what to buy, what to find, right? You can find a hot and sexy adventure with the models here at my studio, right? Let me just see what I can. 10 messages. If I can see messages, definitely I reply. I usually like to talk about erotic photo shoots, erotic photography, erotic videos. Right? That's what I talk about on my channel. I talk about how I make adult art. Okay, I talk about different situations. For example, this specific video is for disabled guy. Okay, and I'm encouraging disabled guy. If you have a condition, you like an erotic photo shoot, right? You have to tell your photographer that you have a limited range of movements, and I have to tell the model. Okay, inform the model. Okay, it is not okay to keep it a secret and then make it a surprise, right? It's not okay. So, there are different things to talk about, and there are specific intimate things. I'm very happy to hold this intimate conversation. Okay. I am saying that there is nothing to worry or to be shy about, right? We are adults. And you see, when we talk about adult things, when we talk about intimacy, when we talk about sexuality, right, we are confident what we know, what we like, right? We are confident in our words, right? When people become, how to say, when they go into this conversation and become nervous, scared, shy, and awkward, they do not vibrate in a confident energy, you know? Children are scared and shy and nervous. They straight away flip into a child's energy, and then erotica and sexuality and intimacy become something, what they scared to talk about. What is a taboo? What is it, not allowed to discuss, right? Children scared to feel this way. What happens when the woman is in the child's vibration? The man doesn't want her, okay? No matter how sexy she is. That's what happens. And the same vice versa, okay? If the man being a child, an adult woman doesn't want him, okay? I don't care what kind of a six packs he has, but if he is, in the child's energy, then, they do not match. So that is important to know that adults can flick, And when I'm shooting adults in my studio, we do a lot of testing and we do a lot of role play, transformation, right? And when the couple is shooting, they are changing the dominance, I put them in a position, sub and dom situation, so then they can measure the powers. And then one will be weak, the other is going to be dominant, you see, and vice versa. Different ways. Okay, let me say hi, hello quickly. And let me answer some messages, 12 messages. What if I see here? Okay. Hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello. Why are you not sleeping? Hi, hello. Oh my gosh, hi, hello. What are these messages? 14 messages. I don't see. Let's go. Let's go. What is this? Let's go. Okay. Thank you for all these hearts and roses. Beautiful top and brush you are wearing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, okay, thank you. Right. I don't see the messages. How are you? I am really well. Today I'm discussing about situation when I had, okay, with a mature guy, seriously mature guy, in his 50s, right, who had a photo shoot with a hot and sexy model, and who booked a photo shoot and forgot to mention that he is disabled, okay, you know. And this erotic photo shoot was, of course, included some adult services, okay, some adult services. And like I say, when we're booking a model, we need to provide all the information for a model. Not only that, to the client I provide all information about the model, right? But I am checking IDs, who is the client, and verifying and talking to the model, on the client's behalf. And the fact that I forget to mention that the client is disabled, it doesn't show me really well they are doing a job, right? So that's why I'm making this video, that if people who are having a certain condition, doesn't matter physical or mental, seriously, they have to say this. And when people are having mental conditions, I can tell you when I'm booking them, I know, right? Because they write very long emails or very long messages, just putting out all the emotions, right? So that is clearly indicates, okay, that there is a situations, mental situations, right, going through some kind of hard times. And very often people just want to discuss intimate things because it's not happening for them, right? And they're disappointed in the dating, or they divorced, separated, whatever happened to them, right? Or not able to have a great intimacy and relationships, okay? So this is one way how you can break through, right? This block, this disconnection with yourself, by doing erotic photography, okay? Sometimes it works when you go and talk to psychologist. But I'm saying sometimes because, you see, the best way how you go through a certain conditions is by taking an action. And action creates a change within you. We know what happens when we talk about it. Okay, we know what happens when someone just talks about it. It stays as as a talk. It's a very lengthy process. Okay, long lasting. Okay, that's why when you sign up for some therapy, it just usually goes with the years. Okay, when you do an erotic photo shoot, you can change it in a day. Okay, because you do certain drastic things that you need to overcome. This is a challenge, and physical challenge, and mental challenge, and experimental analysis of yourself, of the way who you are. You see, if you have a photographer who knows how to shoot, not just beautiful pictures, but pictures of showing who you truly are and putting you in the situations when you feel uh, not so comfortable, right? I'm not saying that it's supposed to be there, but usually every shoot happens the way it happens. It's a connection and collaboration with two people, right? If it's a solo shoot, you still, on one end, one to one with the photographer. If it's a couple shoot, it is also one to one, but it's two people, right, with a photographer. Usually, when we shoot with two people, both individuals have their own situations, okay, and they work on their own. And then when we create erotic make love scenes or role play scenarios, then they work on the situation what they have together. Okay, sometimes they want to resolve something. Sometimes they just want to remember this. It's so good that they want to remember. Yeah. Okay, just recently I shot this couple who is in their 60s. Okay, in their 60s. I really like when people coming really mature and when they understand that this is something, what they want to remember. It's an intimacy between them. It's a connection. Okay, that matters. And not only that, the thing that they can do, the way they do it, how they do it, that vibe they have, you see, not everyone has the same vibe, the same frequency, very high, you could say that they on the youth mode, right? If I'm saying they're in their 60s, but as soon as they start make love, I see them in the 30s. They change. Okay? When people start having intimate connection during the photo shoot, they change. Okay? If they are honest, if they are true, if they are not faking or pushing this or pretending. Okay? And when they do, you see, I know how to disarm. I am in adult business for 20 years. Okay, I will give them something to do. I will give them tests. I will distract them in the way that they start presenting themselves anyway. And I am here to record this transition. You see, every time we start somewhere very awkward and shy, that's a normal condition of the human reaction into undressing and into camera pointing at you, okay? Because it is, right? But then, depending on how healthy you are mentally and how intellectual you are, okay, you overcome this very fast, like very quickly. If people are seriously on a high note, they shooting like this is not my studio, and they shooting like I am not around. Okay, that's how they shoot. They don't see me. It's not that I am blending in, I am. Okay, through many shoots and so many years working with nudity, my energy is probably so neutral that mm, it's not disturbing them in any way. That's the whole thing. Okay, because if you have a person who is very much surprised or interested or confused or nervous or worry about something, right? Like imagine a photographer who doesn't know how the outcome would be. And during a erotic photo shoot, you don't know. You don't know, do they come, how they will come, what is their, best position maybe, which moment it will be the highest for them, okay? Who is getting turned on from what, you don't know, okay? When you do a normal photo shoot where there is no sexual information involved, people just undressing and taking few pictures, this is you in the control completely. That's why majority of photographers stay in that safe zone, okay? Because they know the shots that they sell, they know the lighting that works, okay? There is no magic there. Okay, but when you are not planning anything and you're just starting raw with these people and going into different kind of lighting setting, camera setting, background setting, okay, furniture, or what they shooting, how is it they, what kind of a setting we create, and then working towards their make love story, okay, not your story but their story, and usually their story is written in that moment, okay, even if they told you this what they want, even if they had this in their fantasy, okay, believe me, never happens the way we discussed, because that's not art. And when I am there, I am so much creative, I am so buzzing and moving around that they lose themselves and they start just creating on the go. As simple as that. We don't go by the menu, by the formula. The moment we go to the studio, I explode and I have million ideas and options and variations, and we communicate, you see? And that collaboration happens on the go. That's why I believe it's a freestyle. Freestyle, real erotica, real sex art. Okay, that's what I make at my studio. So that people can feel something, during the shoot. Not just doing it, not just undressing, not just showing their parts, intimate parts. It's not about that, okay? I know that you would not even maybe recognize the difference, okay? But for those who are in the studio, they're doing it for themselves and they will recognize, okay? When they will see this picture, they will remember how they felt. That's the first thing what they think about. If you think that, oh, this is just about beauty, or is about the frames, or is about the body shapes, or is about, how the light and the shadow complements each other. No, no. Erotica is if you feel sexy, turn on and horny or preparing for something, and this energy escalates in your body. That is erotica when you feel it. Okay, not when you pretend. you know, when you're getting turned on. And these are the pictures that contain the energy. There is a coding, there is an energy that people later will use. If you look at this file 20 or 30 years later, it will energize you, you know? Seriously, because it will maintain this coding, you know? We know that photography works in many ways. You can, many ways. I just been my arm broken. I just did X-ray, right? So that's one way of the photography. The other way of the photography is for, you see, we have social requirements, right? And we see photography as a certain presentation of yourself. But that's the question. How much of the presentation of yourself is there? Okay, because everyone is pretending and wearing masks. And when it comes to erotic photo shoots, it is very hard for people to perform and undress. And very hard to be themselves. They wanna see someone else. I am preparing this erotic galleries, and I just had my arm broken, right? And it stopped. But they keep writing me and writing these emails asking, they want to look at the sex art, they want to look at boudoir, they want to look at nude photography, they want to look at make love scenes and scenarios, they want to look at erotic fantasies for threesome. They want to see, they want to see, they want to learn, they want to understand what they see. They're not going to learn about them. When they will look at the real art, they will understand about themselves. And that's the real art. That's why it's been created, for you to feel something. And when I am shooting real people, you see, they are creating a very real energy, like true, like there is, how to say, there is a desire and passion in there, not only love, and then it mixed with erotic fantasies, you know, and then it's just doing it the first time also brings them that energy mode. You see? So every artist who creates has their own perspective and understanding and their own spin. And my one is that people will feel it. Yes, they will get beautiful shots. Yes, there will be some pictures they don't like. Great. Yesterday I was talking to this couple who came to shoot, and I said there will be big file. Okay, big file. And I've checked how big is the file. 1,200 pictures. Okay, 1,200 pictures I've created during a erotic photo shoot. Shooting with two cameras. Plus I've created videos. Okay, and that all happened in 2 hours session. Okay, in 2 hours session. So I'm very creative. I don't take the same shot, the same angle, the same setting, the same. No, no. I'm constantly moving around, and when I'm shooting erotic and explicit photography, I'm very close. You see how close I am now. Not on this camera, but on this camera. I'm very close. The closer you get, the more, perspective of how they feel you record. You see? That's nearly sensing the energy. And when I am in a erotic shoot, usually I'm very close to people, you know? Very close when I'm creating. Yeah, so that's what I do. Okay, 27 messages. Quickly saying hello and quickly replying at what I see, right? What I see. Okay, you very nice. Thank you. What is it here? Do you ever review your videos or photos? I never did. Okay, I never did till now. Right? So a few years ago, I had an idea that I've created such a huge archive and just hidden it away. Okay, and I had an idea just to create a membership. I put some videos and some pictures on my website on the back end, and people start signing in, and I had more than 1,000 sign-ins without any, that was like even not considerable some kind of a topic or work. Just put some kind of a random, gallery, and I realized that people are very much interested, you see, and they can find you. So now I want to go through my erotica, and I want to create photography, movie stills, videos, gifts collection. I've already loaded such a big gifts collection. You see, I know that there is a Telegram channel. I'm quite new to it. And on that Telegram channel, I created a public channel, and I will be opening an erotic sex art galleries on the private channel. So what is different from having it on the website? I'm not able to communicate with my members, okay, because it's a website. It's like they can only view it, right? But when we go on Telegram on the private channel, they can have lots of galleries. Okay, I am making galleries for ladies, for models, for couples photography, couples videos, dominatrix BDCM topic, threesome topic, cogol fantasy topic, and men. So I have so many categories already open, and I have 50% of gallery loaded to start. Okay, but my archive is huge. I spent few years just looking for editors who would know how to work with explicit erotic content. And I fail. I've tried many videos. I can find on videos, okay? The videos are manageable, but when it comes to art, photography, people just don't know what to do with this sexy, nude, and explicit pictures, to be honest with you, okay? They never worked with such a content. So you see erotica and explicit stuff, what I do, it's quite rare with the woman especially, okay? And those who doing it, they editing themselves, you see, photographers. So editors is quite was a tricky situation. So I've realized maybe the time came that I have to do it, okay? Because this is my art. And so I will be revisiting, reviewing those files again and meeting myself, I don't know, 10 years back, 20 years back, what I shot, okay? Although I can tell you, when I started, I was very successful already with my photography, okay? Because when I started, I also was studying, photography. And so our tutors really, really loved the work, what I did. So I knew that I have this powers, right? But I'm very, you see, as a perfectionist, right? I didn't show my artwork just for that reason, okay? Because it wasn't constantly finished, constantly, I was thinking I'm lacking of editing skills, or I'm lacking of kind of a presentation, or something, and constantly, found flaws in me, and I didn't show my archive. Maybe 1% only of 100 is displayed at the moment. So there is a lot of work, seriously, and a lot of energy, erotica and sex art to show to public. So that's something what I want to just live like this, you see, work with my artwork. I don't, I shot that much already. So I can just process what I've already done and present it into the galleries and show to the world. So that's my idea, my future plan, to make these galleries, and I'm halfway. Okay, I'm halfway. And like I say, I'm preparing a private gallery, and I'm inviting everyone. Okay, find my public channel on Telegram. There has to be some post uh, with links. Okay, and that's where you will find. Okay, so thank you for this question. Definitely, the answer is yes. Only I can properly present them, because you see, when the editor get get access to my artwork, they want to change it. Most of the time, they want to edit the way they see it, and sometimes it's just overpowering their information, how they see this artwork. Okay, they do not see the things what I see in this picture. You see, so that's why for me it was very hard to find someone with the same vision. You know. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful is exactly what you are. Okay, thank you for the compliments. Okay. Okay, I was some portrait artist. Thank you. I'm trying to hear what voice in the morning. I am trying to hear that voice. Okay, okay. Are you not my type? Good to know. Very important information. You gotta try the no glasses challenge. If I'm gonna try this no glasses, I'm not gonna read it. That's for sure. Okay. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Not my birthday, but today I was discussing about one photo shoot which we've created as a birthday present, erotic photo shoot with Tantric model, right? And we've created the whole thing, okay? The cake, the candles, and the model was feeding the guy with the cake and presenting herself as a beautiful present. Okay, and I was filming. I was filming that hot and sexy adventure, and this video was for guys, right? And so today I'm finished. Thank you so much for staying, watching. Okay, and next time you see me, you can ask about erotic photography for individuals, for couples, okay, erotic photo shoot with hot and sexy models, about erotic fantasies, okay, and also you can ask about erotic videos, adult videos, right? Thank you so much for now. Love you, kiss you, mean it, and bye. Bye, bye, bye.